Hello, I am Hope Stafford with the Hope Helps group, and I am here again this week for Mental Health Monday. And we are joined again by Randy Rohr, spiritual life coach. And this week, we're going to talk about expectations again and happiness and being in the moment. So, Randy, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here again.
You're very
And
welcome.
and so this week it's we have the holidays coming up, and we've already had some holidays,
Hmm.
and piggybacking on our expectations for last week, we all have expectations for how things should be now. And also, now that we have a vaccine, I think people are getting very excited and ready for things to go back to the quote unquote normal.
Hmm.
And how do we manage our expectations, our outlook for what the future is, knowing that right now people are still really struggling? I mean, people are
Hmm.
still kind of down in the dumps, and everything isn't fixed and probably won't be for a while, even with the vaccine.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. One of the things that they have discovered, at least this is my understanding in the reading I've done, about 30 years ago or so, there was a question that was being asked in the mental health industry, as there had been a number of studies that showed that only about 20% of people who went to therapy were getting help that they were able to sustain, you know. And so in the mental health industry, they struggled with it. That's a low amount. They wanted to do more. And one of the key things in all the research they did in trying to change is they discovered that we humans have the ability, one of the things that's made us able to grow and expand across the whole world is our ability to imagine how things can be different. That's where our expectation comes in. We can picture a different outcome. We can picture possibilities. And they discovered that when we're working on things externally, that works. We can say you want to do a garden. Well, you can picture how that might look and where it'd be. Well, that's good. You can do it. But they came up with something they didn't realize before, and that is that when we try to use those same techniques on ourselves, it doesn't work. So when we think we can fix our life, it doesn't work. So our ability to imagine a different outcome, uh, if we say, I expect it to be this way, like as we get out of this pandemic, and I expect things to go better, I expect to feel better, I expect to, that, whatever comes from it. Well, um, that expectation doesn't work because we're not in control of all that. And we can try to change ourselves or change other people, but that doesn't work. So, what we need to be aware of is that our imagination, our ability to imagine a better world, needs to fit within the context of reality, to put it quite simply. One of my, as you know, I was a minister,
Uh-huh.
Hope. And so I think in terms of these scriptures, I'm not trying to get anybody saved or anything. But I like this one because it says it really well. It says, do not think of yourselves more highly than you ought. Instead, think of yourselves with sober judgment. And I think that's the key for us, is to think with sober judgment. What I'm thinking is that I've come to realize that when I think my life should be different, when I think it should be better, if I take the approach that I say, gee, my life's not what I thought it should be. I should have it better than this. Why did this happen to me? Well, all of that simply serves to make me feel bad. And what I've discovered is that what I'm actually doing is saying that I'm better than reality. I
So
should have it the way I think it should be, rather than the way it actually is. And so I can't be happy no matter what. You were going to
So
say
it's
something.
it sounds like there's somewhat of like not only do we not have gratitude necessarily for what we have now and what our reality is now, but we also have some entitlement to what our future reality should be, or we feel an entitlement in our future reality, where
And
maybe we should have more gratitude and less of a sense of entitlement.
Right. And we have, and that's a good word, entitlement, because our whole the whole advertising marketing industry is about trying to make us feel dissatisfied with what we have. And if we buy into that and think I should have more, that doesn't work.
I think that it all piggybacks on what you said we talked about last week, and also what we talked about this week, but being adaptable to what is now and finding joy in what is now. And also it may reshape our future. So to have your expectations, I mean, it's inevitable that people have expectations, but to have them be flexible expectations based on your reality now. So we don't know what our future is going to look like with regards to the pandemic and what things are going to go back to normal per se, or what's going to change indefinitely, but to find joy in the small moments that we can right now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, adapt with the future.
Yeah. And I think that I would just say that you're right, and that we're going to have expectations, but to be aware and mindful of your expectations and to make them realistic. Mm-hmm. When you're thinking something and you're expecting something, think it through. Is this realistic? You know, if you want a bigger house, well, start working towards it. Don't just expect that it should be, oh, I'm going to find this great house and someday it's all good. No, decide this is what I want, you know, and I'm going to go for it. You know, it's not just thinking it's going to just happen. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody has to work towards it. But the idea is that you say, okay, it may not be the perfect house, but it's going to be a house I'm going to love being in. Can I close with just two quick things here?
Yes.
Byron Katie is one of my favorites authors, and I'll just read a one-sentence thing. She says, I'm a lover of reality. When I argue with what is, I lose, but only 100% of the time. I think that's a cute way of saying that. Live within reality. It's okay. And then the final thing I wanted to leave everybody with is, there's an excellent TED Talk by a psychiatrist, and it's titled, Getting Rid of Self-Importance is the Key to Happiness. In other words, thinking I should have something different. No, I'm a human being. I'm subject to reality. And when I can say, hey, I'm no more important than anybody else. These things happen to me too. I'm happier. But it's a great talk to listen to.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hope.
Happy holidays, Randy.
All right. Same to you too. All right.